Hey guys, we're going to start off with a quick tutorial just to make sure and show you everything you need to know about doing checklists. So you should be under course content by weeks, and under week 2 you see a ton of stuff for you to read. In addition, reading the book, you're going to want to look at the notes I've given you here on your PowerPoint, and I've also given you instructions and a sample. Okay, so on your instructions it looks like this. It says you need 10 items, meaning 10 things that you're checking off this child can or cannot or is developing the ability to do for each of these domains. So for instance, in motor development, we're going to not just have one big thing of gross motor. We're going to have a couple things, indicators showing their fine motor, a couple for gross motor, and a couple about health and well-being. Same with cognitive development. We're going to have some things that have to do with their math skills, some that have to do with their science, and some social studies. So you're going to want to break these up to where you get a very, very broad range of all of the things that they can do in that domain. Okay, now how are you going to find out? Well, you're going to use your standards, either milestones, foundations, or SOLs. Okay, so I have all of those for you already in Blackboard. If you go up to Start Here, you'll see all the documents you need. So your milestones, your SOLs, and foundation blocks. So I've already got it opened up. So you're going to look at the table of contents that is going to show you each strand that breaks up the domains. So here we see social development. We're going to want maybe 3 of our indicators to reflect their relationships with others. We're going to want maybe 3 or 4 of our indicators out of 10 to reflect their self-perception. We're going to want maybe 3 or 4 about their feelings and regulations. So what that might look like, let's use social, is don't use these high numbers here, by the way, because that doesn't tell you what age it's appropriate for. Go right to the beginning part. So, okay, this is our face page. You see this is page 3. See, it tells you there's 13 indicators right here for relationships with others. But we need to have 10 that cover this whole page. So you're going to pick and choose, all right? Now keep in mind, this whole page right here represents birth through age 5. So we need to find the age of whatever age your child is. So you're going to turn the page, and this whole page shows us only strand 1, relationships with others. So you're only going to pick things from maybe 1, maybe 2 of these, depending on the age. So let's say I have a child that is 3 years old. Okay, that would be 36 months. So we might pick a couple indicators, maybe A4, 5, and 6. We might pick a few of those and a few of 36 to 48 months. So I might choose demonstrates increased problem solving and can successfully enter play, and then I might do demonstrate increasing ability to form relationships. So that'll be my 3 for this strand. Okay, that's 3 out of 10 we have for social. Then we turn the page to page 5. Now we have learning about self. So again, we have a 3-year-old. We're going to look maybe between 18 to 36 and 36 to 48 months. If they're right at 3, now if they're 3.5, we're probably going to stay right around these 3 right here. Just be 9, 10, and 11. It just depends. It's very important to know exactly how old your child is, because there's a big difference between 3 and 4. So 3 and 3 months and 3 and 9 months are completely different. So we might pick our B9, B10, and then we'll move on to the next strand of social. And we see now we're at expression, feelings. So we would pick these 2 right here, and maybe we'll go down and either pick one of these or one of these. It's your choice. But the whole idea is to get a nice, well-rounded look at how this child is developing socially and emotionally. Okay? You're going to do that through all of those domains. So this table of contents is going to help you know which strands go with which domain, okay, which is right up here in the beginning. Okay? So you're going to see for cognition and general knowledge, there's strand 1, we have math. So there's a lot of math stuff. It's going to be really hard to pick just 2, 3, 4 different math concepts. But you see, with science, there's only a few. It's called learning about the world, but you can look through content that it's science. And then learning about families and communities. If you look at these substrands, you see this is social studies right here. Okay, hopefully you've learned all that if you've taken the CHD 146. Okay, so you're going to pick those and you're going to format it. You can format it however you like, but this is how I choose to do it because it gives you a more broad definition between yeah, they can do it or no, they can't. If they're just 3 years old and you've got things on there from 3 to 4 years old, it's going to be okay if they're just beginning. So I like beginning, develop, and master the skill, but you can do it however you like. It's very important to have their age, not just in years, but months too, and the domain. And all you do with this is just make a basic table. So I'll show you real quick. If you already know how to make a table, you can turn this off now. Okay, thanks for joining us. But if you don't know how to make a table, I'll show you real quick just to give you that extra help. So I'm going to start a new document, and I'm going to say child's name, and I'm going to put in my Susie, and child's age. Susie is 3 years, 1 month. And the domain we're going to do is going to be cognitive. Okay, I'm going to go down here, up here to insert, and I'm going to insert a table. Now I know I like to have beginning, developed, and mastered. So I'm going to have one column for the item, and then 1, 2, 3 for the checkoff, and I know I'm going to need to go down at least 10, if not more. So it's only letting me do 8, but I'm just going to double this up. I'm going to copy it, Control C, go down here, Control V, and it adds it over. So I'm going to need to move some lines because obviously I don't need much room to check, but I do need more room for the indicators, and I'm set. So I'm going to say indicator, beginning, developing, mastered. Alright, I know that in my cognitive domain, I'm going to have math, science, and social studies indicators. And I like the way things look a lot, so I like to change the font a lot to make it stick out. Alright, so then I'm going to go back to my milestones, and if you use it online, you can just copy and paste it. Oh, did I close it? Alright, bear with me, I closed it. Let me open it up real quick. That was actually an email from one of you guys on my phone. Isn't that funny? Alright, milestones. So we are going to go into our cognitive area, which I think is on page 13. Oops, pushed that way too many times. Okay, so we're going to go back. Bear with me. Alright, so we've got our cognitive. Our first one is learning about math. So if we have a 3-year-old, Susie's 3, we're going to be looking at not these face pages because they don't tell us exactly what age it is. We're going to go to these. Okay, so she's 3, so I'm going to think begin to count by rote. That's an important one. She can just count. So I'm going to Control C that. I'm going to pop it right over here. Okay, don't worry about how the font doesn't match. You can go back. And, okay, so we got a math. Let's move on. That was counting. So measurement, let's see. She explores measuring tools. That's a good one. So I'm going to copy B6 in there too, just because I like to have it so I can go back and find it if I need it. Alright, so we got a measuring. And now let's turn the page. Let's get a pattern so she can recognize and sort. different objects we're going to control. See, this isn't hard. This is not hard. It's a lot of copy and paste, and then you just go in, observe it, and check off where they're at. Alright, we have pattern and relationship. Now let's get shapes. Oh, this is an important one. So they're recognizing shapes, simple shapes. Let's see if they're doing that. And you'll notice it goes in order. So if this was like a 3 years old and 10 months, you're going to look down here to where they're recognizing and naming and sorting shapes. That's more advanced than just recognizing simple shapes. So it's going to depend on your child. Alright, and I'm going to say that's good for math, but if you really decide you want to, let's keep going. So we have shapes. We also have spatial sense, data collection. Say you've really noticed she does some really good data collection. Maybe she counts objects she gets. You might want to add that. I mean, you can have more of some if that applies more, but for the sake of time, I'm going to stop with that. Then we'll go on up here to our science. So there's our face page. It gives us the whole, a face page is basically showing you the whole picture, whereas you turn the page and it breaks it down. So scientific knowledge, let's see. We are going to discover and describe natural patterns. So this child might be able to tell you about the weather outside. So I'm going to copy that over to science. And let's move on to expect results when playing with toys. So maybe they do a puzzle, they expect it to be done a certain way, or maybe they're asking questions about scientific phenomena, like why? Why did that happen? Why? They love why, So you get the point. I'm not going to do social studies too, just because you don't need to see me do this whole thing. But then all you have to do is just change your font. So I'll go up here to home and see, clicking on this, we have Calibri 11. So I'm going to highlight all that and make it Calibri 11. And then you just go and kind of clean it up. So I might take cup and bring it back up here and so forth. Move this over. You get the idea. And that's how you do your checklist. Okay, so of course, let me know if you have any questions on the discussion board. That's what I'm here for. And good luck.